Hello again. So in this video, we're going to be talking about verbal expressions, um, which really just means that I'm going to give you a phrase in English and I want you to convert it to algebraic symbols and numbers. And so the big thing that we want to learn here is just a couple of phrases that mean what they mean. So let's go through a couple of these. I'm going to start with addition. So when I tell you that I want to add something, I can use a couple of words. I can use add, I can use the sum of, I can use increased by, I can use something as simple as plus, or even something like more than. And there's more that we can use for the word add, and you can even look these up online. But those are the most common. Okay, now let's do subtraction. So a couple of phrases or words that mean subtract would be like minus, subtract, obviously, decrease, um, and then this one, less than. So less than is I'm going to put a little star next to it because this one is slightly different, but we're going to go over an example with it, and so we'll come back to why it's a little bit different. Okay, now let's do multiplication. So times, multiply, the product of, and then we've got divide, which would be like, obviously, divide goes into, or the quotient of. Okay, there's just a couple left. So now we're going to do equalities and inequalities. So equalities would just be when I can use equal signs. So some phrases would be like is equal to, or simply just the word is. That would mean like I can use an equal sign. And then let's do inequalities. For inequalities, if it's is greater than, that would be this sign. If it's is less than, it would be this sign. If it's is greater than or equal to, it's this sign. And then if it is less than or equal to, it's this sign. Okay, so like I said before, there are several other phrases that might mean add, subtract, multiply, divide, or any of the equalities or any inequalities. But for the most part, these are the most popular. So let's go over some examples. So number one. Okay, so what if I said the product of 5 and x? Oh, I might have just given it away with that. So the product of was on our list for multiply, so I'm just going to write multiply right here, which means I have to multiply 5 and x. So I could write 5 times x, or I could simply write 5x. Both of those would work. Okay, next example. Let's say I say 4 less than y is 10. Okay, so less than, we know means subtract. It was in our subtract list. But here's the deal, less than was also the one that I put a star next to. The reason why I do that is because when we're reading these phrases, we're usually, what we would normally think is that we would say 4 minus y, because the 4 comes before the y, but less than flips the 2. So it can't be this, it has to be y minus 4. Less than is the only one that flips it. And then is was a part of our equality list. So that means that this is an equal sign. So it's going to be equals 10. And there is our answer. Once again, because it says less than, we have to flip-flop the 4 and the y, or like the front part and the back part. And then let's go through another example. We've got r increased by 2 is greater than 9. Okay, so increase by was a part of our add list. And then greater than, we know is that sign based on that inequalities list that we have. So what we can do is say r plus 2, because it's adding, is greater than 9. And there is our mathematical expression. All right, let's go through one more example. Let's see, so it says the quotient of w and t is less than or equal to p. Okay, so we know quotient is divide. And then we have less than or equal to, which was a part of our inequalities list, which would look like that. So based on what we can see, we would say w, we know it's dividing by t, is less than or equal to p. And there is our algebraic expression again. So really, on these ones, you just want to make sure that you have that list in front of you, or have a general idea of what that list has, because that makes it super